Hello, I'm Michael Naziri. Today I'm here with Antonio Collins. And Antonio, you would you consider yourself a powerlifter or a strongman?
Strong power builder.
Strong power builder. Okay.
It's something I came up with. Like I do strongman, mainly powerlifting, and some days I'll do like bodybuilding style workouts, like get a pump and that kind of stuff. But mainly like the lifts I mainly do are bench press, deadlift, and the strict curl. I'm also into grip strength and all that kind of stuff too.
Oh, okay. That's good because I've never talked to someone who does grip strength sports. Do you compete in grip strength sports?
I've never competed in a grip strength competition, but I do grippers. I've lifted a Thomas inch dumbbell with very little training. Haven't trained for that for a little bit, so I got to start training that again. But that like those kind of I do train the grip implements and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's that's interesting. I guess coming from like a powerlifting background, like I guess if you never like had a problem with dropping your deadlift, like you never really trained that kind of thing.
No, like I st- I started when I April 11th is when I first started working out, and that I was 16 going to be 17. And my first bench press that day, first day in the gym, like I warmed up with the bar, got used to like the feeling of just getting the pattern down, and then before you know it, like that day, I did 205 was my max on my first bench press day. First deadlift, I did 405 with I think near the top, I kind of had to hitch a little bit. I don't put the work into my deadlift though, like a lot. Like I mean, my best deadlift's 540, and it's to me it like sucks.
Well, what weight class are you in?
Super heavyweight.
Yeah,
I'll be 21 in July. I don't look it. I mean, I look 30.
what's the beard?
Yeah.
What's that beard? I saw you on Instagram. You said you've been growing that for a year now.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, I've had it for about a year.
So when did you start competing? How many years ago?
I competed about a year and a half into my like lifting weights. I just lifted just for fun. I did a local competition from where I live. It was called Sons of Thunder Powerlifting. It was a Christian organization. They do powerlifting and stuff. It was just bench and deadlift. I was just shy of being 18. I was 17 and like a week and a half later I would have been 18. And I
Yeah.
go on.
I mean, I wanted to ask you a question. I was thinking about it because I messed you up last week. I scheduled you. We were going to do a podcast at a certain time, and I totally forgot.
Oh, you're fine.
And I was like, I totally thought that I was going to have like you were just going to be totally enraged,
Oh
and
no.
I was just and I said I was sorry, and you were just like, no, it's okay. And I was like, wow. I was like, this guy is like really forgiving and nice.
Oh, all right. Hey, people make mistakes. It's a human. Everybody makes mistakes. Has a bad day, stuff like that. I mean, I'm not like I'm not like some people. Like I, if you like, I've seen people get mad over like the stupidest little of things, and I admit I get bent out of shape over little things. But I mean, hey, I mean, I made a mistake. It's fine by me. I'm like most strong guys and power lifter, strong men, mainly strong men, like nicest people.
That's what the strong men all say. They say the strong men competitions, the guys are nicer than the powerlifters.
That is so true. Like I've done powerlifting competitions, and like I'll be uplifting, and I could just tell people are like rooting for you not to get a lift so they can win. Versus when you're in strongman, you have like the guy competing against you. You're both rooting for one another. It's the coolest thing.
I have to go one day. Like I've always wanted to go. I talked with someone last week who was a strongman for the first time, and I was just I was kind of joking. I was like, well, I think I'd be good at the Atlas stones because my deadlift kind of is so horrible. It kind of looks like that position. So I was like, maybe it'll translate.
Yeah, I went to a strongman gym about an hour from where I live in Monaca, PA, called 580 Barbell. They have a podcast as well, so anybody watching, you can go check out their podcast. They're really really cool gym, awesome people. Um, they had an Atlas stone, and I lapped the 250, but it kept rolling out of like rolling off my pants because my pants were real slick. But I managed to get I never done an Atlas stone in my life, and I grabbed 205 pounds and just manhandled it up there with no technique.
Pennsylvania, it's funny you're from Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania seems to be, I would say, probably the second strongest state in the country. Right next to Ohio, it's right next to. Like, why?
Yeah,
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. We got a bunch of, I guess we could say we got from where I'm at, there's farmlands out and just farm strong, I guess you could say.
Yeah. I mean, I go out to Pennsylvania a lot to compete in the 100% Raw. And before 100% Raw, there used to be an organization called the ADAU, and they would have a lot of meets out in Erie, Pennsylvania, at this guy Joe's gym, and in Bigler, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
I don't know. They just always competitions out there, and I like the people out there, and there are always great lifters out there.
Yeah. Like we're like in the Pittsburgh area, I never really find that many competitions for some reason. It's like always like Pennsylvania competitions are like 3-4 hours away from where I'm at.
Yeah.
But yeah, with 100, you said you do 100% Raw, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got April 11th on in Bedford Heights, Ohio. I'm gonna do the Tri-State Championships. I'm doing the strict curl.
Yeah, the strict curls is a lot of fun, right? I like the strict curls.
Yeah, it's very fun. I love it.
It's do you know who Strict Curl Joe is?
Yeah, isn't he the guy that founded Strict Curl Nation?
Him
Yeah.
And someone else, another guy.
Yeah.
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 He won't take credit for it. He says him and another guy started it. But
Yeah.
But yeah, I did a podcast with him. He's a really nice guy. I know it never happened to bump into him in a competition, but he does a lot of 100% Raw competitions.
Yeah.
And he got the strict curl into the Arnold Classic, which is really cool.
That I messaged him before when I first discovered them, and they were doing Arnold. They're having at the Arnold Sports Expo. I told him, like, and this is true, like I'd say about when I was always on and off with the strict curl. Like I would do it just for fun every once in a while. But I thought to myself, when I was getting really into powerlifting and all that, I thought, man, that would be cool if there was a strict curl like world championship at the Arnold Sports Expo. That would be cool. I'd love to do something like that. Then here they go with doing that. That's just so cool. It's like that's a dream of mine.
Yeah, he's a really nice guy. If you reach everyone I talk to seems to knows him because he goes around trying to promote the strict curl, and I've never heard a bad thing about the guy.
Yeah.
So you're a strongman, and you would probably like this. Some not ADAU. ADAU is got eaten up by 100% Raw. 100% Raw. What do you call them? The people that put on the events. I can't think of the word right now.
That makes two of us. I can't think of the word either. Like the meet director.
The meet director. Meet director.
Okay, there we go.
Thank you. Yeah, I've been doing this since 2001. Yeah. There's some meet directors in 100% Raw that are doing a overhead press in the competition. I would think you as a strongman, you would love that.
Yeah, I would definitely find that interesting. Like I've done a 240 log with the strongman log with poor technique. I basically, when I like to lap the log into your lap and then you row it in, it would go like that.
Yeah.
I just literally just grabbed it, put it in my lap, and hammer curled it up into that position. And I failed the press, and then I went, and then I like tried it again, and then I locked it out. But I like the overhead press, I never really done with a barbell standing. I usually am doing seated military presses with the barbell, and I've done 270 with that. That was my second time doing that lift too, as well.
Yeah, it's a standing, from what I've heard, and somehow they're judging it based on not like excessive like body movement.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's driving the head of the rules for 100% Raw nuts, because trying to get the rules perfect for this is a little
Yeah.
difficult, you know.
Yeah.
Um, so how do you find time to get all your training in?
Well, I mean, I have a pretty, easy like schedule. Like, nothing's like, like interferes with lifting for me. But Mondays, I is a rest day. Tuesday is my first bench press day. I'll do whatever I got to do on that day, along with all the bench accessories and uh and all that. And then Wednesday will be strict curl, and then Thursday I rest. Friday I either would do my second bench day. It's either like Friday or Saturday will be my second bench press day, and I'll add the strict curl in with that as well. I deadlift like every like 14 days. Like I said, I don't put the time into my deadlift like I should. I'm going to start putting a lot more time into that.
Yeah, I, well, I deadlift and squat each week, but like I'm getting to the point where now like my recovery like
Mm-hmm.
can't keep up with can't keep up with it. Like I think I'm gonna have to go back to like not keeping everything within like a 7 day time span, just
Mm-hmm.
giving myself another day,
Yeah.
because I'm just getting older and I'm like, wow, like deadlift day comes around and I'm like, I'm still sore from the squat. I can't believe it.
Yeah, yeah. I don't squat. I choose not to. It ain't like it's because I suck at it or it's too hard. Because I do any lift that's if there's a lift that's hard, I'm going to do it because I want to do something that's hard and challenging myself. But I just don't squat because I just don't know. I don't like weight on my back. Even though the weight on the back's no problem for me. I've walked 600 pounds on a yoke walk, for like I think like 40 feet, no problem. It's just I don't know. I just don't find it fun. I don't know. I don't know how you could say it. I don't. Hmm.
Yeah, that's fine. So your training method, right? Because now you said um, you're doing strongman, powerlifting, and some bodybuilding type workout.
Mhm.
Uh, how do you work that in? Do you what do you
Well,
I think like do you work in like I'll train in like an 8 week cycle, like and then I'll do like a little,
I'm currently on a bench program that I just read online. Figured to give it a shot. So far it's working pretty well, but I'm gonna do. I saw a article with like how Josh Bryant, who trains world class powerlifters like Julius Maddox and Thomas Davis, who's another 700 raw bencher. There's many more I could probably think of, but I saw an article where like how he would program, like a little 8 week training program from him, and I have that written down on my phone, and I'm gonna give that a shot because I mean Josh Bryan, he's a powerlifting genius in my opinion.
so what do you say to do?
Well, it was like I'd have to. It was it's an 8 week. No, it's not 8 weeks. What am I talking about? It's 13 weeks, but the first 3 weeks is set one. I believe it was like one set of triples on bench, like real heavy. I think it starts at like 80 or 85% of your one rep max. And then every fourth week, you have a deload week where you only go to like 70% and real light on everything. And then week 5 to 7 will be, I believe, one set of doubles. And each week, after your top set of whatever triples, doubles, and all that, you go to speed bench for like me. The way I'm going to program it is do like 4 sets of 4, and then each week add like a set, like 5 sets of 4, then 6 sets of 4 and stuff like that. And then week 8, you deload again, take it light. Then week 9 to 11 is one set of singles at like, goes from like 90 to like 100% of your max. Week 12, you deload. Week 13, you would go for first PR on whatever on your bench in a competition if you were doing a competition.
So I mean, I know in the sport of powerlifting, steroids are an issue. Whether you could lift tested or non-tested, and But
Mhm.
in strongman, right, there's no testing, right?
Yeah, I don't think there's testing for a lot of places. There might be a strongman federation out there that does do testing. If so, I've never seen it.
Yeah.
But I've been in a few competitions, and I think there was a couple guys that were probably on something, and there was one guy definitely on something. I mean, you could just tell. I mean, you can just tell, and he
It's
I
easier to
think
tell with the girls.
yeah.
You can tell right away with the girls when their facial
Yeah.
starts to change.
Hmm.
But
But for that strict curl I'm doing, it's like I said, it was in Bedford Heights, Ohio, and it's actually it'll be 5 years on the day of working out for me, which my grandfather he pointed that out to me. Hey, he's like, hey, that'll be your 5 years of you lifting weights, and I'm like, oh no way. And then but the Pennsylvania state record strict curl, my weight class is 156 pounds.
you can beat that.
And in training currently, in like probably with it, look, the 180 I've done 180 and it was competition worthy. I probably have the strength to do 185, 190 on a good day, I'd say.
That's a big strict roll.
Yeah. And I like the fact that 100% raw is drug tested, because I just drug free lifter, I just drug free is just the way to go.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how we wound up there. We like the organization before that was called the Anti-Drug Athletes United, and
Hmm.
and towards the end of the guy's life who was running that organization, Al Siegel, he like started the process to like merge them. Then
Hmm.
we wound up there. But I think we would wound up going there anyway, because it's from what I've seen, they're the most serious about drug testing, because they'll drug test anyone who breaks a record, anyone who's best lifter, you know what I mean? Anyone in basically they drug test,
Yeah.
which is like
Yeah.
that's why that's why I've never been drug tested because
Uh-huh.
I'm just not that great of a lifter. But my wife, she gets drug tested every time because she always wins best female.
Yeah. Yeah, I did a powerlifting competition for was it USA Powerlifting or something, I believe was the name. And it was a local, it was like, like 40 minutes from my house. And I was like, drug test me. And they basically didn't, because I didn't, like I think I got first place in my division, but they didn't, because I didn't get like best lifter. But it was like this meet that I'm talking about, they only drug tested the strongest guys or the people they thought were on it, where I think like everybody should have been tested.
Yeah, it's too much money. It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's why they won't do it. So
Yeah.
yeah, I see why they won't waste their money on it. But I get your point. Like my greatest goal, like right now in powerlifting, is to get drug tested.
Hmm. Yeah, same.
Yeah. Bum, bum, bum. Okay, so you're a strongman. What
Mhm.
do strongmen like to lift in kilos or pounds?
Uh, I notice a lot of people prefer kilograms, but me, I just think pounds is just more simple. Like I had a debate with one guy at one of my competitions. It was a powerlifting competition. It was just bench and deadlift, and he said to me, he asked me that question: what do you prefer, kilograms or pounds? And I said pounds, and he debated with me that kilograms sounds more intimidating than pounds. I'm like, okay, so you're telling me that, oh, I can deadlift, let's say 452 kilograms versus, I deadlift 1,000 pounds. 1,000 pounds sounds more ferocious than a 400 and some kilogram deadlift.
I've talked to powerlifters from around the world, and that's what they say. They make fun of us because they're like, oh, you want to lift in pounds because it sounds better.
Yeah, I just sound, I don't know, pounds just seems, I don't know, maybe it's, I don't know.
Well, you got to figure right now, like the goals that you set in pounds. Let's say you want to hit, right, very off first starting off in powerlifting, and you want to hit 1,000 pound total, right? Well,
Hmm.
in in Europe, well, that total is when they want to do 1,000 pound. They set that in their head now. They have the same goal, 1,000, but it's 1,200 something. You know,
Yeah.
it's just easier. It's easier to hit nice sounding goals in pounds.
Yeah.
Um, have you lifted equipped meets in powerlifting?
I've never been in a bench press shirt or a squat suit. I do own a deadlift suit for Strongman.
Yeah. Oh, they
Like if
use suits in strongman.
Yeah, they use suits and like it depends on the competition. Like if like whatever the event is, like if it was like a max deadlift, then I'd imagine they're going to allow strongman suits and straps like usual. But I mean, sometimes most strongman competitions, it would be like, let's say if it was like a pro competition, it'd be like what, like 600 some pound deadlift for reps on like with like a car, it would be like a car deadlift or something like that. But yeah, the only thing I have is a deadlift suit. I'm not one for them bench press shirts. They look like Frankenstein.
Yeah, I've never lifted in a squat suit or a bench shirt or anything like that. I'd like to try it once. I don't feel like spending the money just to try it one time.
Yeah, I would get a go in a bench press shirt one time, but I think that would be it because I don't see the appeal in it. I just don't. It looks goofy. I mean, you see these guys come walking out, like this, and then to get onto the bench press, they have to have guys push them down, put their arms where they gotta grab the bar and they rack it, and it's like 900 pounds goes like this.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't see how that. It's just not lifting to me. I mean, it's technical, yes, but I don't find it. I don't find it. You know.
from what I've talked to other like lifters who lift in suit and wraps, like it's like two sports within powerlifting.
Yeah.
Well, you got really like, and powerlifting's got so fragmented because you have different things. You got the raw classic with no knee sleeves, then you got the raw with knee sleeves, then you've got the single ply polyester meats, then you've got the like the crazy suit meats with the canvas and whatnot, and then
Yeah.
you've got tested meats and untested meats. The sport it's a total fragmented mess. That's why it'll never be in the Olympics.
Yeah.
You know, that's that from what I've been told from people that are administrators in the Olympics, they're like that's the reason because there's not like one powerlifting organization with one set of rules and it's
Yeah.
really tested and no one's using steroids. Well, not no one, but it's
Right.
all the best athletes aren't. So
Yeah.
it's a big problem.
Yeah, like me, when I bench press, I usually just wear a belt. But if I get heavy enough, like when I get near, like let's say 90% of my one rep max or so, that's when I'll add my wrist straps.
Yeah.
But even then, I don't even wear. Sometimes I don't even wear them.
Yeah. I think what happens to a lot of people in the bench, it doesn't sound like you have that problem, is that you see a lot of people benching, the bar is like further back on their palm.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's causing so many people like these wrist injuries. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
you gotta get it down here. And
Yeah.
but yeah, no, 90% and above when you're lifting real. If you're a real lifter, you know what I mean. You're gonna need a little support. But
Yeah.
I see a lot of people do that. I don't know if whatever they put that bar way back on their palm.
Yeah. I mean, from what I've noticed, when I see people with their hands bent, like with their wrists back like that, it looks to me like it shortens the range of motion, and they're doing that like on purpose. Some people
Yeah.
shorten the range of motion because powerlifting is basically a one rep max sport. Like you want to get the most weight, you're gonna basically do whatever it is within the rules to get that most of the weight you lift.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a sport. It's not really that sane, but we do it anyway.
Yeah. But like I saw this video, what was like bro science or something. It was like how to be a power lifter, and he says being a power lifter is basically hurting yourself for fun, being weird. It's something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Has lifting helped you through some of life's tough moments?
Oh yeah, definitely. I like when I started lifting, I was 16. I was probably about 380 some pounds body weight. And and I started lifting because my grandfather, he lifted back in like the 70s and the 80s and 90s. He was basically uh he was a dinosaur when it came to training. Like, everything was just like, I look at him, I'm like, man, I don't know how you lifted 405 pounds and plus on bench press, like, 2 times a week, every week. I can't understand that. It's amazing. But I take a lot of my grandfather's training and just use it modify it like with like proper technique and, some and like do some of the exercises. Like, a lot of people don't like doing dumbbell flies for I like to use dumbbell flies, and I go all the way down enough to like get the stretch in the chest. But his training was it was nuts. So all the old school, just powerlifting, bodybuilding kind of training. It was just nuts to look back and to hear how he used to lift.
Yeah, me and my wife and the girls that lift with her and the guys that lift with me. Yeah, like especially after a competition, we'll do more like it would be considered like bodybuilding training.
Yeah.
Trying to keep everything above 8 reps. For a couple months, and then slowly start tapering the reps down towards like a competition. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But my grandfather, he got me into lifting because I always loved hearing his lifting, stories, that kind of stuff. And then I'm like, why don't we just go to the gym? And then he took me to the gym where I think it was like not the gym where he got started, because the gym where he got started was a guy's like a garage. And then like soon after that, they got a gym like 10 minutes from where I live, where he like lifted for most of the time. He left like all the years he lifted. I got a picture of my grandfather in my photo album. You want me to pull it out?
Grab it. Yeah.
My grandfather was like 280, 300 pounds, 6'1.5" tall. Where is it? Okay. I'm not sure how well that's going to show up.
Oh, you see the size of his shoulder and his arms. Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks
That's him hugging my grandma. I mean, he was just a mammoth of a man. Still is. He's a local legend in where I live. Everybody talks about him.
All right. Here's a question. It's a little off the topic of lifting. I ask it. Do you have a faith that's helped you through life's toughest moments?
Oh yeah, I'm a Christian. My whole family's Christian, and we believe in Jesus and God. Go to church every Sunday with and all that. I mean, nobody's perfect in life. Nobody's going to be that perfect person. Nobody can be. But like, there's people. I'm like, there are people like, oh, you're Christian, so you act holy. Like, you try to be, but there's like times where life's going to push you, and you're just, you swear, curse, whatever, get mad when I knock, slap people across their heads. I mean, nobody's perfect. I've been in, fist fights. I've thought about just going over and slapping somebody. Nobody's perfect, but just you get better.
Yeah, with those big forearms you got now, don't hit anybody. You're gonna kill them.
No. Yeah, I know they are kind of ridiculous. I'm fully aware.
What would be your advice for someone that wants to get into strongman for the first time?
Well, let's see. If you want to get into it, just get into it. Dive in. You're gonna go. There's gonna be times where you're not gonna hit, like, just take it easy getting it started. Like, I would recommend start out light with everything. Get your muscles and your tendons strengthened, and just as you go on, like, as a year goes on, just get stronger and stronger and stronger. But do it smart. Don't ever like hurt yourself when it comes to like trying, like, okay, I've worked out for 2 months, let's try this, and then like, hurt yourself. I've done where, like, I was about like 6 months into lifting, and I thought, hey, let me up, like, the cable stack with doing like a close grip curl for let's just throw like 50 pounds more than I know I can handle, when I like tweaked my bicep, and then I didn't do curls for like 2 years because I was so startled by that. But yeah, I just take it easy and just get into it.
So I've been in my dungeon here for a while, lifting in my basement, and not really in the world of gyms. And like, I'm very happy for that, because whenever like whenever I have to go into a gym, like I went to a competition last Saturday to go watch a friend of mine, Ellen Stein.
Hmm.
It was in a big gym, and I just can't see people doing like quarter squats.
Yeah.
Just want to throw a plate at them. Um, and then there were people in the gym talking trash about like the people who were lifting. They were talking about like bench shirts, and they're not even really benching, and it was a raw meat.
Yeah.
It's just I wouldn't be I wouldn't be able to do it. Like I said, I'm a
Yeah.
too. I just, you know how, like, you just try and stay away from those things that are not gonna that are gonna like mess you up.
Yeah.
That's like like the the road that you don't travel down. I wouldn't
Yeah.
be able to do it, I don't think.
Yeah, like, I mean, the gym, I have my basement gym with all my equipment that I need of it. And the gym where I got started, which, like I said before, is where my pap, worked out for a lot of years. And like that gym is really cool, and like everybody's just supportive of one another. It's just a little private club. They got all types of things, all types of stuff, that there's things they have that I don't have for my gym. But I hear, like, like people go to gyms, and like, like I've heard people that go to try to start lifting weights, and people are like, intimidating like the new guy at the gym, and you know get and to me, like, and then people, like, not want to go to the gym because they feel intimidated. Like, if I was at a public gym, like, where a lot of people go, you can always spot out the new guy. You can just spot out, you can just tell they're just trying to fit in. You can just tell they're new. But I never look at somebody like, starting out and go, oh, look, they're weak, and look how weak they are. Like, I would go over and befriend the person, and lift with them and give them advice, all that kind of stuff. you know
That's the key. You gotta make friends. You
Mhm.
can't go over to someone and say, "What are you doing? That's stupid. You're doing it wrong."
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they're never gonna listen to you, and you're not helping them, because they don't want
Right.
to be that way.
And like, and people be like worried and like, what was I gonna say? I had a brain moment. Uh geez, 20 years old, I feel like I'm 80. I'm losing my mind. No, people just be I've had people afraid to come up and ask, or ask for like advice for spotting before, at the one when I was when I went to York Barbell, that whole, and checked out that museum they have. And I went to like it was a Gold's Gym, and I just want some people were just afraid to like come near me and ask me for advice because I'm just big, and like, and some people, and one guy walked up to me and was like, oh, you're doing this wrong, and I'm like, no, I'm not. But uh, that's why I can't handle public gyms, especially if you see, like, in that gym I went to, like the Gold's Gym, you have men wearing like tight leggings and flexing in the mirror, and I'm just looking at them and I'm thinking, what are you doing? I can't handle public gyms like that. I love a dungeon gym, torches for lights.
Just prepare yourself. If you follow me on Instagram,
Yeah.
I'm moving to the tight shorts.
Oh, well, I don't care what anybody wears to the gym. I don't. Hey, they wanted to wear that, they could wear it. It's just, Like I don't care.
Just scroll on, like, oh, there's Mike Nazarian in shorts. Just
Yeah. That's funny.
you know, it gave me the idea. You know Pat Susco?
Sounds familiar.
He squatted, I think, like 925 in like
Okay.
1992, like back like before they had all these crazy suits and stuff like that. I mean, it's insane.
Hmm.
And one day I was like, hey Pat, I was like, why are you lifting in your underwear? He's like, these aren't underwear. These are made by SBD, and they're like the best lifting shorts in the world. And blah blah blah. I'm like, okay. And then he sold me on it. I was like, all right.
Yeah. I could just imagine just like going to like a Planet Fitness wearing all types of strongman gear. Be
Yeah,
kicked out.
you got to pick what, like, well, if you're gonna go to a public gym, well, that, yeah, I can't. I make a lot of noise, so I couldn't go to. I think
Yeah.
you can't make noise.
Yeah.
Planet Fitness.
Yeah, that's Planet Fitness. Yeah.
Yeah. I make.
If somebody like me was walking on the sidewalk outside of Planet Fitness, the lunk alarm would go off.
You gotta you gotta watch videos of my wife like squatting. Like she makes this weird barking noise. It's really funny. Like she's on the way up to.
I have to say the barking noise is something me and my dad do.
Yeah.
Like it's just an inside joke with me and my dad. We'll like, you know, like it's something so stupid, but like, you know, when like I'll be spotting my dad on bench press and I'll go "Huh!" like that at him, like bark like that. It's just a goofy thing we do to one another.
Yeah. It's real. You gotta watch. She doesn't post very much, but when she does, it's something heavy.
Yeah.
Have you seen any crazy injuries doing that stuff?
I've never seen an injury like in person. I've seen that recent video with that guy with what Ryan something with Larry. He was like benching on the incline with Larry Wills and he completely tore his pec.
Yeah.
Like it was like like that, and like, and I've read comments where people are like, well, I'm never incline benching again after seeing that, and like, huh?
The second I saw it come off the rack, and he
Yeah.
come down, I was like, that's way too heavy.
Yeah.
I was like, there's no way he's gonna get that back up.
Yeah, and like people are afraid to now incline bench. I've read comments where, like I said, where people are like afraid to go on incline bench. I saw that video. I went an incline bench the next day.
Yeah, I mean, if you've been around lifting long enough, like, and if you were spotting that guy, the second you saw him like start to pause it as he came down, because it was, you know,
Yeah.
he was coming down slowly, he stopped, coming down slowly, he stopped.
Yeah.
I'm sure took that. That was.
Yeah.
How is that possibly going to even come up, even if the pec didn't pop?
Yeah, but like I've spotted, you know, some people, and I'm not the best when it comes to spotting because I never spot like anybody heavy. Like I mean I spot for my dad, and he my dad's really strong for like being 160 pounds. I mean he's really strong for his body weight with the injuries he's had from just life. But you know, like I'll hand off like, you know, like 170 or 180 off the bench to him, and it's just like, what the heck, man? Why does this feel so heavy? Yeah. But then I think to myself, well, I wonder what he's going through when he's got his hand off like 420 to me all the time.
Yeah,
but
in reality, you're probably taking like 99% of it out of the rack.
Yeah, like I've had like my grandfather when he would spot me, like, you know, the most he'll take off is 100 pounds. If you fail a match, you take 100 pounds off, or if that, you know. But yeah, that was very not fun to watch. That guy, I've had to suck.
I'm very fortunate on my this gray squat rack for my bench, like where the catches are, they're just perfectly like, if I'm like my chest is up, I don't hit them, and if I can't make it, I just flatten out and they hit.
Yeah,
so I can bench by myself, and it works out. And plus, I mean, my wife only weighs 103 pounds, so yeah, some of these benches, I think she wouldn't be able to like pull it off my chest.
Yeah, like I have these things from it's Titan Fitness bench press spotter stands. They're like, and they're really cool, and they're like what, like 70, $80, something like that.
Yeah.
And because I've benched in like squat racks before, but like doing like I would always do dead bench on with them, set the pins right off the chest and press from the bottom. But like if I were to bench by myself and have like like those pins that's like protect me, it probably wouldn't work because I'm so barrel chested. They would it like if I had to sink in to let it go on the pins, it still wouldn't work because I'm so big in the chest.
Yeah. Yeah, I just got lucky that it happens to work for me. But those
Yeah.
pressing from the bottom,
Mhm.
you know what? I started doing that after my set because I was doing my heavy set, and then I was using chains and bands right on top,
Mhm.
not on top of like my heavy set. I take some weight off,
Right.
using bands on. The problem was with my bands were wrapped from the bottom.
Mhm.
Taking it out of the rack was like crazy because you had full almost full band tension and all the chain, so you take
Mhm.
it out from behind yourself and it was
Yeah.
pulling my shoulders. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna start it from the bottom.
Uh-huh.
So this way I don't have to deal with that with my shoulder. I just work all the way up and then bang down. Two
Yeah.
for one rep.
Yeah, I learned the dead bench from Josh Bryan, like his videos on YouTube, where you basically set the pins off right above your chest,
Yeah.
and you start from the bottom. That helped my increase my bench a lot.
Well, it's good too because it's like it turns it almost into not doesn't turn it like muscle wise into a deadlift. But
Hmm.
deadlift, you have no rebound.
Yeah.
Like you're not able to load your muscles and your IT band and everything like that. So like same thing in the bench. You come down, you're tightening up your back, you're loading up your back, and
Yeah.
it off your chest. So when you don't have that, it's you have to fight a lot more at the bottom. And
Yeah, I started experimenting with like resistance bands for my bench, but I don't have like the band pegs to do so. So what I would do is grab the resistance band and like knot it and put my one arm through, put it behind my back, and then have my dad hand off, and then it was like basically under me. That's the only way I could do it.
oh, look at this. This is my custom. See that? See those crappy welds and that
Yeah.
black pipe? I just cut.
Uh-huh.
I just drilled right through the squat rack and put the pipe in there.
Yeah.
So you get like $150 welder from Amazon and step drill bit. It took me like
Um,
2 days, but got
yeah.
the. But you can do the bands from the top of the rack. It's the same idea.
Yeah. I don't have a rack because it won't fit in my basement. My basement's height clearance, I think it's like 6'5" or 6'6", something like that.
This one I had to cut this rack down.
Yeah. But I have a York Olympic. It was like a powerlifting bench they made or whatever. It's like 100. It's like 100 and some pounds or something like that. It was real. It's like $200. It does the job for me. It's holds over 1,000 pounds in weight. Plus with the user.
Look, if you're not a commercial facility, like you don't need that. You don't need road
Yeah.
equipment. Well, I mean, well, one exception is I have a Rogue reverse hyperextension, and
Hmm.
I wouldn't get a cheap reverse hyperextension. That's gonna be a piece of.
Yeah.
But other than that, like Titan equipment is great,
Oh yeah, definitely.
Jim. Like you don't need to buy like crazy expensive stuff. Like
No.
Titan's great.
Yeah, it definitely is. Yeah.
I want to. There's two bars I want to get. I want to get a safety bar. I have a sort of safety bar. I have these things
Hmm.
called like SBB handles.
Hmm.
They're basically like a safety bar. Like they clamp onto the bar and they
Uh-huh.
so you're using like a regular squat bar, but you have like
Yeah.
I got that for my wife because she had bicep tendonitis and she couldn't get her arm underneath the
Mhm.
bar.
Yeah.
So I got that for her. And just so happens, right? I got this I'll show you. I got this reverse hyperextension, right?
Yeah.
And, I got it used, and it's the first model that Rogue made has
Hmm.
one one grip handle, and the
Hmm.
grip handle is basically made for someone like, I don't know, over 5'10". And
Uh-huh.
this thing is not meant for like a small person.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? Let me try those handles out on the where the grips are, and I was able to put a grip in closer for her.
Yeah.
I put a picture of it up on Instagram, and I tagged the guy who made it,
Hmm.
and messaged him, and he actually texted me back. It was like, "Oh, that's a great idea," and he started following me. I thought that was awesome. This guy's sponsored by Elite FTS. I was like super excited.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that's one of my problems when it came to like when I would attempt squats, like when I would go to that other gym because I can't squat in downstairs because I don't have a squat rack. But my problem was always getting like I can't get back here at all. It's just because I'm so big. So what I would have to do, the only way I could grab the bar in order to squat was have to go all the way to like the sleeve, where the weights would like start and go like this,
yeah.
and then squat because I cannot get back here. It just will not happen.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of big guys at the competitions, they have the racks that like slide.
Yeah, that would be all right for me. Yeah,
Those are expensive.
yeah.
Um, how many powerlifting competitions have you been in?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want to say about 8 or 9.
All right. Have you bombed out of any?
I haven't had good ones. Like I went for like a I did a 350 bench in like there was that local federation, the Christian the Sons of Thunder Powerlifting, the Christian organization. Their little record in my weight class on the bench was 370. I did 350 and it didn't feel so good. So I went for like 375 and bombed out there. And I tweaked my like
That's
the
not
back on the bench.
You get out. They kick you out. You're out of the meet.
Yeah, I failed the 375 bench and tweaked my lower back real bad. I was like, I don't even know how I'm going to deadlift. So I just started just stretching out and doing all that, and I ended up doing my first 500-pound deadlift. And then the following competition I did was in February of 2019. And then May I went to one of their competitions again to go for the bench, and I was just going to open with like 370, and no, wait, their old record was 365. I wanted to do 370. So I did 370. I opened up because my warm-ups were going nice, and 370 I opened up and just failed. And then so I went to retake it and I got it.
Yeah, good.
I haven't had good competitions a few times. I've competed 9 or 10 times, something like that. I can't remember. I got all my medals and stuff right up here. I have to count them all.
How badly do you dislike CrossFit?
I hear a lot of people don't like CrossFit. Like I've read, like powerlifters say, CrossFit this, CrossFit that. I don't even know what it is.
Well, being a powerlifter and a strongman, right? Both, they would benefit you, right, in like this, like the functional ways that they lift weights. The only
Mhm.
problem is like, would you be able to like run a mile like in like 4 minutes without your heart exploding?
I believe it or not, I could, for being a big guy, I'm like a little bit over 6'2" and 346 pounds, and I can run. It's the funniest thing. I can run real fast. It's shocking, but I can. But I can run real fast. But I mean, if I were to go for like a mile running, I'd probably end up dead.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like you would demolish like all of like the weight lifting aspects of it. It's just,
Mm-hmm.
it's I think like one of the like I think the best CrossFitter ever. Like he barely made it onto the Olympic lifting team, and he never got to lift in the Olympics. But I mean, you get onto the Olympic lifting team, you're an amazing Olympic lifter. And
Yeah.
So he just was like, you know what? Let me just start doing some cardio. And he just started added cardio into his routine, and he became like the best CrossFitter ever. You know,
Yeah.
like, so I guess what's good, they like to, they do a lot of, they do snatches and cleans and all this stuff. And
Yeah, I do cleans probably I've started incorporating them a lot more, but I usually just grab 135 and just start cleaning it, for as many times as I can.
a lot of people I talk to can't stand the CrossFit.
I mean, I'm not gonna like belittle another sport like if somebody wants to be Mr. Olympia, go on and do it. If you want to be a CrossFitter, go on and do it. You want to be a power lifter and strongman and this, that, and the other, just go achieve what your goal in life. I'm not gonna belittle somebody's goal in life,
Well, here's an interesting thing. Do you use pre-workout?
No, no, I've never taken it. The most I've done like a pre-workout, I had a rain energy body drink or whatever, one of them, and they're good. I drink, maybe one every 3 times a week or something. I'll have one in the morning, but because they're just I like the raspberry flavor. But no, I don't take pre-workout. I don't even take protein most of the time. I don't take protein powders or nothing.
I think my wife keeps bothering me. She thinks I'm going to give myself a heart attack.
Yeah, I don't take pre-workout. I don't even take protein powder. All I do is just work out, eat, get my protein through food.
Do strongman guys use ammonia capsules and smelling salts?
Yeah, and powerlifters too.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, powerlifting. I use them.
Yeah, I've used them, and I've never did it in training. And then I go to a competition. I'm like, hey, can I borrow one? And he goes, yeah, and lifted 540 on the deadlift for the first time. But I've used them in a few times, but never in training.
Yesterday in training, right? Just why I was talking to you earlier. I missed my first deadlift, I think, because I was right at my shins were near the bar, and I'm sniff the ammonia capsule, and I go down and grab the bar, and my mind was so out, it's way too far out.
Yeah.
I couldn't even think about anything, and the whole deadlift was horrible, and I didn't get it.
Yeah.
I'd come back and get actually use my brain a little bit to lift it, and I got it.
The mind can really affect a lift. I'll tell you that. If you go in going for a max on a deadlift or a squat or a bench or anything, and if you go into your max thinking, okay, I got this, and then you unrack it and you're going to bring it down, you're like, okay, I don't got this. You're not going to do it. I've had lifts on bench where I've going for I think a three back when I was younger, a couple years ago, I was going for a 330 bench, and I'm like, I don't got this. Failed it because I said that to myself. Came back 5 minutes later, I with so much confidence that I got this, and it blew it right up. It's amazing.
What are your goals? Do you have goals for powerlifting and for strongman?
Yeah, I later on, and my current bench is 420, but since basically how training's been going, I know for sure 430, 440 on a good day to max out on the bench. And then goal by the end of the year would be 500 pounds on the bench, if not the end of the year by my birthday next year for sure. But I'd like to hit 600-pound raw bench, mid 800-pound deadlift, something like that. And the strict curl, and I'd like to take the strict curl world record drug tested and push that as far as I can get it.
Oh, yeah, I think you'll get it.
I think I could. The world record, heaviest done, I think, is by Denis Saplankov, the 249 strict curl. I think I could beat that, drug free. I honestly will say I believe I can.
I think you should also get a Popeye tattoo on your forearm.
You're not the first one to tell me that. I mean, I have a friend over UK, England. His name's Tom. He has a YouTube channel called Old School Strength. He primarily works out forearms, neck, and I think that's it. I'm not sure if he does anything else. I mean, maybe body weight things too, but mainly forearms and neck. Yeah. And I learned so much training on forearms through him. It's unbelievable. He's a genius.
Yeah. When I post, I did a podcast with with an arm wrestler, and what's today? Today's Friday.
Yeah, Friday, the 26th.
I should post. I'll post it today, and he goes over all different forearm exercises that he does. And the most interesting thing he said was that, I've always heard that abs, you could basically work out every day, your abs, and like you're not going to overstress them. But he said that like the world's best arm wrestler is like, well, there's three muscles that you can work. Well, it's more than three, but it's the calf, which consists of a bunch of muscles, your stomach, and all your abdominals and your forearm. He was like, all three of those muscles you can work out every day, and that's what a lot of these arm wrestler guys do. And he explained it. He was like, well, because you use them so much, like your calf, like your walk, you use that muscle so much, your body's like capable of using it. And your forearm, he was like look at somebody like a mechanic, you know what I mean? They're constantly using that forearm from 10 hours a day, and their bodies can handle it. Like they wouldn't be able to do that if they were using their bicep all day.
Yeah.
Wouldn't take it.
Yeah, I do forearms from what I learned from my friend over in England, Tom. I do them twice a week.
Yeah.
Forearms, because I'll directly do forearms twice a week, but then also throughout the week I'm also like doing daily things, or benching or deadlifting or just doing anything, and those forearms are getting worked through that.
Yeah.
But I love training forearms. They're just so fun to train.
Yeah, he was doing I guess the specialty like arm wrestling things. He was like doing a rotation like this.
Yeah.
It's like he would call it like a cupping rotation. All
these
little movements to make like that arm stronger. This is an interesting sport. It's something I never talked to someone that competes in arm wrestling.
I trained arm wrestling with my cousin's group of guys that he trains with, and I learned a pretty good bit from them. I'm basically a natural hooker. Yeah. Sounds funny saying that, but I'm left-handed dominant. I am left-handed, and my left hand I just cup, and I was at a competition. I was at one of my powerlifting competitions, and there was a guy that did arm wrestling. I don't know his name or where he trains at, but we just gripped, and I cupped, and he tried to undo the cup, and he couldn't do it with like two hands. I guess it's that strong. I don't know.
Well, it was really cool talking to you. And
yeah, you too.
And thanks for sharing with your faith.
Yep.
So some guys don't like to open up. Some guys are weird about that question. They're just like, nope.
Yeah.
And hey, man, I'm gonna be cheering for you for your next competition. Let me know when it's going. You're not. All
right.
Where are you? You're in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I live like 30 minutes from Pittsburgh, little town called Trafford, Pennsylvania.
All right. Well, Pittsburgh is kind of far, but if you're going towards like the center of Pennsylvania for a competition like that, definitely let me know.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So thanks.
All right. Yep.
Have a good day.
You too.